All right. This is your creation. My name is Adam Starseed Bay. Kind of a different setting here. But I don't know how this video is going to turn out. I'm waiting for a family to show up. But we're getting ready for September 9th. And I really feel like that's going to be a symbolic time. And I've talked about this every year. Yeah, between September 9th, they're usually around like the 15th or 16th or so, as well as the 11th, right? The 11th. There's always something that always goes on. September 11th. There's always something new. I always talk about it being the new year, celebrating the new year. I always like to make a New Year's be like, hey, it's New Year's. How come no one's celebrating? Because they don't know. They don't know. But there's always something going on. And this one in particular is really interesting. And I'll go ahead and I'll kind of share it, some of the experiences I've been having. So, I've been hanging out at this Comic-Con for the past 3 days, as well as on my last vacation for the year. And something occurred to me when I was there because, oh man, there's just so many people there, so many people. I was going to record footage, but I was like, you know what? It's a Comic-Con. It's pretty self-explanatory just how chaotic and busy those events can get, and just how creative people can be too. Because they can kind of be themselves. They can be hermits 24/7, but when they go to these conventions, they can be themselves. They can dress up how they want to dress up, and things of that nature. Well, today, I was just kind of paying attention. I always like to pay attention because, especially when there's a lot of people, because it gives you kind of an idea of where people are at, or where people's consciousness is at. I'm kind of stuffed up here, but what's their focus? So today I was thinking about that, and I've been talking again about the three earths. There's a positive earth, a negative earth, and a balanced earth, and how they're dividing themselves. And you can end up on one of those three earths. The main earth you want to end up on is the balanced earth. That's the true earth. The positive earth is that false light earth, and the negative space is just, you're so consumed in your ego element that you can't escape it. You can't escape it. So that's what I was looking at, and I was really just observing on how many people would pay attention to me. So I would look in people's eyes and see if they would see me or not. And it was pretty rare. But those who did catch a notice, that sparked my interest. It's like, oh, hey, that person noticed me. Oh, hey, that person noticed me. It doesn't matter if they were like, whatever their thought pattern was at that time, but they noticed me. And that's the key element, because that's what I was looking for. I was looking for people who would take notice. And I want to say maybe at least 6 or 7 people that I'm aware of took notice when I was looking around. We made eye contact, and that right there was my proof of, hey, that person took notice. It could be an energy exchange. It could be a future event, that may take place. I don't know. It's hard to say. But what drives that connection? What drives that connection? I'm around thousands, 10,000s, and thousands of people. Why would only 6 people take notice to me? So that brings it to my other thing is, on people who are real and people who are just people that are just running around in this matrix of illusion. And what I ended up doing is saying a silent prayer of healing, sending healing out. But what I put my 10 into was reveal those who are real. Separate the ones who are real from the illusion. Separate the ones who are real from the illusion. And I kept saying this, and it kept popping up in my mind. I was like, you got to separate real from the illusion. As well as, the other thing that came up was, we can't take stuff with us to go to heaven, right? We can't take stuff to go to another plane of existence as well, and that's the realization of separation too. We got to separate ourselves from the materialistic realm. And this is just a video just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm currently experiencing. There's a separation taking place now. And with it being conveniently, like I said, September 9th is tomorrow, conveniently being the new year, and I've been talking about this too, is that there is a new beginning, a rebirth or a change that's taking place, and maybe if you're on that spiritual path and you're piercing through the heavens and you're staying on that balanced earth, that you're going to begin to see who are the real ones, and we're going to start seeing the holograms or the illusions of the Matrix begin to disappear. Maybe that's why people keep talking about the rapture and people disappearing and things like that. Maybe it's because we're going to see the Matrix fade away, and we'll see who's real. But it's a lot more than that, though, because there's going to be a lot of people who are real, but they're going to be divided. So you're going to have people who are real going to the balanced earth, people who are real to the positive earth, and people who are real to the negative earth. So there's going to be realizations of who's real and who's fake. And I think what the great revelation could unfold is that once that realization of who is real takes place and they begin to work together, they'll begin to I don't know, maybe be more in tune with the beings that are playing behind the scenes. That's why I'm so in tune with that, is because it has to do with behind the scenes. This stuff is an illusion, man. Regardless of what you guys see, there is stuff going on all the time. I watched Constantine the other night, the one with Keanu Reeves, and the most fascinating thing about that movie was when he time traveled, and he used a cat too. I'm going to look into that. But when he time traveled into the hell aspect, it was really a future or an alternate timeline of Earth. Earth was obliterated, and it was just infested with these mutated demons, maybe there's some kind of nuclear thing that happened on Earth, or I don't know, but that's what it looked like. The old mentality when I watched the movie was that it was hell, right? It was hell, and then you had heaven, so on and so forth. But when I watched that movie again, I had a whole different perception of it, that it was peel that layer off, and it was like that negative Earth, like he jumped into another Earth, and they're trying to bring all these spirits up into this balanced Earth, but there is a trigger point between the two, and you look into CERN, you look into the D-Wave, you see that they're trying to do that. At least we got presentations of it. It may not be real either. YouTuber named Jeffrey, apparently he's not on YouTube anymore. He was talking about, I don't know who's real. He's bringing that up again. And I was like, man, that for me was a confirmation of, hey, put these pieces of the puzzle together. There's something going on. Something is being revealed, and those 2 videos I made previously connect with that. I made those 2 videos for a reason, that what you read is corrupting you, because it's been written by human doctrine, humanity. I'm not saying, that you can't progress spiritually. You can, but I make those kind of titles to make you think and see who gets triggered by it. That's the key word, who gets triggered by it. But you don't need to focus on the books, because they're an illusion. They're an illusion. And you have to focus within to learn and get the information within. I mean, look, I was at a Comic-Con surrounded by 10s, 20s, 30,000 people, man. 30,000 people, and I'm still doing my spiritual walk. I don't get distracted. My wife, she's there for the celebrities, and I like to look at the merchandise, right? I like to look at the merchandise, but I'm still doing my spiritual walk. I'm still observing. I'm still connecting. It's a 24/7 job, man. I don't ever let up on that. And that's something that you need to be in tune with as well, is that if you're on this spiritual path, you need to be in tune constantly. You can still have fun. You can still do what you like to do, right? Whether you want to collect or, play games here and there, or, you love reading the Bible all the time, or, you're constantly investigating into conspiracy theories, whatever it may be, that's part of your journey. But don't get distracted by it, or don't allow it to consume you, right? You have to build your energy up. That's another thing. I've been really focusing on building my energy up. Learning what works, learning what doesn't work. Again, observing people. Just taking notice of what's going on around me. If there's people who are real, how does that energy feel? I connect with those people with my eyes. How did that feel? And then with the people surrounding me, if they're an illusion or part of the matrix structure, how does that feel? Even if they're illusions, they can be part of the program, and it can still conjure up your energy and take away your energy. It gets deep, man. It really does. It really does. But yeah, so just think about and observe what's going on in your surroundings. A lot of synchronicities going on. You need to pay attention to it. The number 13 has been popping up a lot lately. And I haven't talked about 13 in a while, because I've been wanting to just build my own channel. Because, there's awesome brother named the 13th Son. And I talked about 13 love and things like that. And 13 is a big part of my life too. A lot of that stuff resonates with me, but I didn't want to be like a clone of my brother. So I had to create my own thing. But the ancestors, my spirits, guides and stuff was telling me, no, you need to get back to that 13. So I've been being shown that a lot. So I'll be talking a lot more about 13, 0 point, be the B within 13, and things like that as well. And I'll be bringing that back to the table as well. Because yeah, it's big, man. I mean, that's where we want to reach. We want to reach that 13th level, just like I talked about with breaking through the heavens. When I weighed myself, I told my spirit guys, I was like, where am I at? And they told me I'm at that 9th heaven, Well, I don't want to be just at that 9th heaven. I have to purge through to that 13. And it may be there already, but it's just, that's what my guide showed me, and that's where we have to level ourselves in this spiritual game. And you have to take this stuff serious. Those who are ready to go on to the next are going to need to prepare themselves. But, I may not even need to prepare myself. I'm just going with the flow of this matrix. There's also other different perceptions too, is that, that this body here, my body here, could be an illusion as well. Like I'm playing around here in this 3D reality on this earth plane, but I'm really not here. I'm really somewhere else. maybe I'm a Lyran cat being up in a ship right now, and I'm just a avatar or hologram that's just playing around down here. So theoretically, I may not need to do the energy work that I feel I need to do. But it's hard to say. But there's so many questions. People avoid a lot of this stuff. And people really feel they have to have some kind of human doctrine foundation to gain the awareness of the audience or the masses, right? And it can really lead you astray in your spiritual experience, because you have to have that inner connection. Praying and meditate daily is key. But I'm gonna have to turn this off. I'm gonna run out of memory here. So just think about the stuff I talked about. Definitely, please leave some comments if you're having these synchronicities of new beginnings. Just paying attention of people who are real and people who just feel like they're fake or they're an illusion. As well as other things, maybe you're having more spiritual activities, maybe you're having more thought processes going through. That they're not your thought processes, but they're somebody else's. Just whatever kind of things that are coming up right now. The Lionsgate's been a huge one as well. There was a perceived Lionsgate that was talked about with astrology. I had experiences with the Lionsgate before that. Dragons awakening, that's been huge. I saw dragons everywhere. I ended up taking a picture of this van that had some dragons on it, and it was just, there was dragons everywhere. There was a promotion of dragons throughout that comic convention as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on. It's getting deep. It's getting real deep. And those who have been walking beside me, you're going to be experiencing that. You're on that same level, right? You're seeing me for a reason. That's why I make videos. It's not to promote me. It's to aid you guys. These videos are made for a reason. They're made for you. And sometimes they're even made for me. I can learn from myself as well. Because it's talking from the Spirit, allowing the Spirit to flow through you. It's uncanny, man. But yeah, I gotta go. I'm running out of memory. So love yourself. Keep shining bright. Like I said, write comments down if you're experiencing some interesting stuff. And yeah, just get ready for this ride, man. The 9th is tomorrow, which this video will be uploaded tomorrow. 9th through the 15th, man. Get ready. Even 23rd. Something about the 23rd. But yeah, it should be interesting, man. It should be interesting. So yeah. So love yourself. Keep shining bright. I'll talk to you guys later.